Hello, it's me again. Today I want to talk about skipping and freezing DVDs, video CDs, and Blu-ray discs. This is a very common issue, a very common problem with DVD or with optical media collectors that their movies they're just skipping and freezing when we watch the movie. So, for example, this video CD of Peter Pan, the Platinum Edition, it suffers from skipping and freezing nearly the end of the movie when I played on my Sharp video CD player. So I do have a video CD player, a dedicated video CD player. It is not a DVD player, not a Blu-ray player, but a standalone video CD player. And the video CD player cannot play the last part, the ending of this Peter Pan Platinum Edition. The same thing happened with this DVD of Percy Jackson that I have over here. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. These suffer from skipping and freezing in the first minutes of the movie when I played on my LG DVD player. So we probably stumbled upon these issues many times with our DVDs and our Blu-ray titles. So the first thing that you need to do when you find this issue is to check the disc itself, whether there's any visible damage on the disc or not. Sometimes it's just because the disk is too dirty, so the laser cannot read the data on the data layer. So clean the disk first. If you can clearly see the dirt building up on the reflective layer of the disk, then clean the disk. And also try to find any imperfections of the disc, any dents, any deep scratches. If the scratch is just very light, it's probably just okay. But if the scratch is just too deep, it's the damage is irreparable, then that's probably the disc is defective. The disc is broken, and it's not the fault of your player. You can't play the movies anymore, the disc anymore. Just throw that away. But if you check the disc, everything looks fine. There's no dirt. The disc is very clean. Perhaps it's brand new, because sometimes it does happen on brand new discs that we just purchased from the store. The disc looks brand new. There's no dirt. There's no scratches, and there's no disc rot. Again, I talk about disc rot often in my channel. Check out my other videos talking about disc rot. So if you find disc rot on the disc, then that is the faulty disk. Just throw that away. It's not the fault of your player. But if everything looks fine, the disk and all looks fine, it is probably your player. The first thing is try to clean your player with this type of DVD lens cleaner. I am using this Philips DVD lens cleaner, and it works. I mean, I did this back then, I think in 2014, so over 10 years ago. That's the first time I tried using this type of DVD lens cleaner. Prior to that, I was using some kind of a cheap DVD lens cleaner. I would not recommend to use this unknown video CD or DVD lens cleaner, because the brush, I noticed that the brush is much more thicker, and perhaps that can probably damage your lens instead of cleaning that. So using a professional DVD lens cleaner like this one, it's from Philips, so sometimes it will work. So the story is that back in 2014, when I played the DVD of Tinkerbell on my LG DVD player at that time, it just won't play, and sometimes it just skips and freezes on so many discs. Then I purchased this DVD lens cleaner. I pop it on the LG player, and voila, it fixed the issue. It fixed the problem. The player plays all sort of DVDs back again, and I can play that DVD of Tinkerbell without any issue. It's very straightforward and very easy, simple to use. That's the instruction, and that's the explanation from Philips, which is the co-inventors of the compact discs and the DVD, the optical media format. Basically, they were, in the forefront of creating optical media, and this is their product. It says over there in instructions of use why you should use this one. It is important to keep your lens clean for perfect digital video and sound quality. This cleaner uses a dry brush that safely removes dust, debris, and other contaminants from the laser lens. This one is suitable for most car DVD players, DVD-ROM systems, DVD changers, and portable DVD players. I tried with Blu-ray players too. This one can also play on Blu-ray players and also on CD player, because these DVD lens cleaner is not a DVD disc. It's basically a CD, and it will play the audio tracks to guide you, through the entire disc and how to clean your DVD player. So that is the first step that you probably need to try to clean the lens. Perhaps it's just the faulty, not the faulty, it's just that the dust and debris they're building up on the lens, so the lens cannot really read the data precisely because of that. Now, if you try using the lens cleaner and it won't fix, it's better to have a different disc player. So, for example, this DVD opposite section, it won't play on my LG DVD player. It plays, but it skips and freezes on the first couple of minutes when Percy was, swimming in the pool. It just stops playing, it just freezes right there. The image like it's being paused. It won't move to the next part of the movie. But I tried playing it on my other DVD player, that is a Sony DVD player, and it won't. That plays perfectly. There's no issue with that Sony DVD player. So the lens mechanism, perhaps there's a difference in the mechanism. So the Sony one plays perfectly, but the LG player would not read the data in this particular DVD of Percy Jackson, because they did advertise different types of disc mechanism back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, Sony promoted a different type of laser lens mechanism that can tilt to to better suit the imperfections of the disc, because there's perhaps a dent, because the surface of the disc not always perfectly smooth. There's perhaps some bumps here and there on the disc. The surface is not perfectly flat, so they created a mechanism, a lens mechanism that can tilt to better follow the size, the actual shape of the disc. So if there's a slight dent of the disc, the laser will just tilt to read that particular data, so it can present all of the data to you perfectly without any issue. So that is a possibility that the manufacturer, they're not using the best possible mechanism to play your disc. So it's always a good thing to have a different player to try to play your disc, and you can determine whether this is the fault of your disc or it is the fault of your player. So most players, they should be identical in terms of reading mechanism, but it turns out some players are better than the others. If you have multiple players, you can test your DVD and determine whether that is the fault of your DVD disc or that is the fault of your player. For this sample, Jackson, that is the fault of the LG DVD player, because it plays just fine on my Sony DVD player, and on my Crystal DVD player. I have a DVD player. The manufacturer is called the Crystal, so it's Crystal DVD player. It plays fine, and I do have another player also. It's a Polytron DVD player, and that also plays this Percy Jackson without any issue. So that is again the issue with my LG DVD player. Now, if you tried using DVD players, perhaps you do not have multiple DVD players, or if you tried on a different DVD player but still the issue persists, try to play the disc on your computer using a disk drive. So most of the time when my disc won't play on any of my DVD player, I try to play them on my computer with these computer drive. They play just fine. So I can copy them directly to my computer using this DVD drive. I think I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I think perhaps the mechanism for this DVD drive is a lot better than standalone DVD, because this one is used for burning the DVD also, and also to transfer data to your computer. So this needs to be more precise than your regular standalone DVD player. So if you try on multiple DVD players, it won't fix the issue. You've tried using a DVD lens cleaner, it won't fix the issue. Try to play the disc on your computer disk drive. As I mentioned earlier, the capability of playing your disc really depends on your player. If you purchase some Blu-rays, especially the early Blu-rays, you will find the message at the beginning when you play the disc that the depending on your player capability, there could be a slight pause, 1 or 2 minutes, up to 1 or 2 minutes pause, depending on your Blu-ray player. That is the issue that's been going on since the age of DVD. So this is a sample of that DVD, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Platinum Edition. If you take a look at the back, especially at the earlier DVDs, you will find this message over there. Dual layer format. Layer transition may trigger a slight pause. So this will give you the freezing and skipping effects because it has multiple layers. So that is again another issue with disc, with multiple layer disc, with DVD and with Blu-ray. So it really requires a very precise laser lens mechanism to ensure the capability of reading through all the data on different layers perfectly without any issue. Now, let's go back to this video CD of Peter Pan. This one I tried on a different video CD player, the issue persists. On disk drive, the issue persists, but this one is a video CD, and judging by this information on the back cover of this Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, layer transition may trigger a slight pause. It is because the data of the DVD is more dense compared to the video CD, so they really need a new reading laser mechanism to ensure a precise reading of the DVD. So the laser lens that they use for DVD is much more precise than the laser lens that they use to play a video CD. So I tried to play this video CD on any DVD player that I got, and it plays just fine. The DVD player mechanism eliminates the issue, the skipping and freezing issue of this video CD of Peter Pan. So higher-end model of the optical media solves the problem of the older model. This one suffers from skipping and freezing issue on video CD players, but the DVD players eliminate those issues. So when I try to play that Peter Pan video CD on my Sony DVD player, this player eliminates that issue, so it plays perfectly fine till the very end of the movie because the laser lens for the DVD, the design for a more precise reading capability because DVDs again has more data packed into the disc, and also they got layers, which video CD, they do not have layers, but DVDs have layers, and so the DVD mechanism needs to be more precise so they can penetrate through the second layer of the DVD disc. And now the same thing happened with a DVD because, again, just like the DVD of Percy Jackson, this is a double layer DVD. This is a DVD 9 of Percy Jackson. It has more than one layer. It's double layer. So perhaps the DVD mechanism just cannot read through the second layer, so it suffers from skipping or freezing. That could be the case. And looking back at the method that I used for Peter Pan, playing this video CD on a high-end model of optical player, which is the DVD player, it fixed the problem. So when I played these DVDs, I tried to play them not on my DVD player, but I switched to my Blu-ray player. So using the same logic, the Blu-ray disc players should have a more precise laser lens and reading mechanism compared to DVD because there are a lot more data being packed to the same size of a disc, and it's a totally different technical specifications, but it has to be more precise compared to the DVD laser lens. And sure, in 9 out of 10, when I try to put the DVDs having skipping and freezing issues on my Blu-ray player, it just fixed the issue. Not only the image is upscaled to a near HD quality, but also the Blu-ray player simply eliminates the issue of skipping and freezing from the DVD player. It just played just perfectly fine. And I assume that is because the laser mechanism of Blu-ray is just much more precise than the laser lens for a CD or a DVD player. The same thing I tried with Blu-ray. that's using the same logic. I do that with a Blu-ray. If the Blu-ray is skipping, so perhaps try to use the 4K Blu-ray player, because again, the reading mechanism for the 4K player has to be more precise than the standard Blu-ray player. And this is why I fear for the 4K format, and I always try to purchase a combo pack 4K Blu-ray, because there is no 8K disc player just yet, or perhaps I don't know if the future will guarantee a 8K disc player. I do not know, but we do not have a higher end um, disc mechanism on top of the 4K Blu-ray player or Sony 5 or PlayStation 5 game console. I don't know. We do not have that at the moment, so I fear for the 4K Ultra HD disc, and this is what I always do. So it's buy the 4K plus Blu-ray, because if the 4K has a skipping or freezing issues, I will always have the Blu-ray that I can play on the 4K player. So that is actually the ultimate way to fix the issue of disk skipping and freezing, is to play the disk on a higher end model of the reading mechanism, not higher end in terms of higher end DVD player. For example, the Sony A and Sony B. The B one is more expensive, so blah blah blah. But it's still DVD player. It's not that, but newer format, newer technology. So playing the video CD on a DVD player, and playing the DVD on Blu-ray player, and playing standard Blu-ray on a 4K player, because the reading mechanism on the newer format will always be a lot more precise than the older format. So that fixed the problem for me personally. When I have this issue with my video CD and I played this video CD on my DVD player, it eliminates the issue. Same thing with DVD. When I played that on my Blu-ray player, it fixed the issue. The same thing with Blu-ray, and I played them on a 4K Blu-ray player. So I hope that will answer your question. If what should you do if you have this DVD or this Blu-ray skipping and freezing issue? That could be the issue of your player mechanism not reading the disc precisely. It suffers from, I don't know, some sort of incapability of penetrating through the actual data layer of the disc, and also because DVD standard is the dual layer standard, and also the Blu-ray standard for a very long time is the dual layer Blu-ray disc standard. So the laser really needs to work extra. It needs to be extra precise to read through the second layer of data on the disk. So newer player, they have newer laser capabilities. They can read more precisely. So it's often, in most cases, it fixed the problem. Just put the disk on a newer format's player. But that is again to determine whether or not your disk is faulty. If you played on a higher end, on a newer format player, and it plays just fine, so that is the error of your older player. But if it still won't play, so for example, if this one suffers from skipping on my LG DVD player, and I tried on my Sony Blu-ray player and it's still skipping and freezing. I tried on my computer, the same issue. Sometimes the skipping and freezing can happen on different places. But if that persists, then that is the fault of your DVD disc. That is the fault of the DVD manufacturer. But I can't see any sign of damage on the disc. I can't see any sign of dirt. The disc looks perfectly fine. Well, that is just how you look at it. The disc may look just fine. The disc may look perfect, but there's perhaps very micro size damage inside that we simply cannot see with our own eyes. It's just very small inside the disc. Perhaps the glue is not gluing it perfectly. Perhaps there's a disc rot inside starting to grow that we can't see just yet, because it's still very, very, very small inside the disc, and it's just we can't see it with our own eyes. But the disc is broken. So if the disc looks fine, but none of your players, even the newer physical media player cannot play it, then that is the fault of your DVD. This is something that I try to educate to a lot of people, because I do sell some of my old DVD collections when I have the newer Blu-ray coming in. For example, the DVD of Planet of the Apes, because I have the 4K and the Blu-ray now in this package. I sold my old Planet of the Apes DVDs. The first one, The Rise of Planet of the Apes, and the second one, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The second movie, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, already sold because it plays perfectly fine on all of my disc players. On my DVD players, it works just fine. On my Blu-ray players, it works just fine. But there is some issue with the first DVD, The Rise of the Planet of the Apes DVD. It will not play on my DVD player. So I tried on all of my DVD players and it suffered from skipping and freezing at the half of the movie. So again, perhaps in the second layer, because there's this, as the message in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs layer transition, my trigger slight pause. Perhaps that happened with the DVD of Rise of Planet of the Apes. So I really try to explain that on the on the homepage of that particular DVD that I was selling, that this DVD suffers from skipping and freezing on a DVD player, but it works perfectly fine. It works perfect without any issue on my Blu-ray player. So if you plan to buy these DVD of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, make sure that you have a Blu-ray player. I guarantee that it will play on your Blu-ray player, but it probably will not play perfectly on your DVD player. So that's very difficult because most people that I know, most Indonesian, they don't even know a Blu-ray player. They've never seen a Blu-ray player. So Blu-ray never really took off in this country. So they know about DVD player, but they don't really know about DVD play about Blu-ray player. That is also quite difficult to educate the people who really want to buy that package. But all that they have is the DVD player. So I think that is also very necessary, to mention to educate to people that perhaps it's not the fault of your disc, but the fault of your player. Try this to fix that problem. Perhaps it will fix the issue. But if this won't work, then that is the fault of your player. If that Blu-ray player won't play the Planet of the Apes disc, I will not sell the DVD. I will say that the DVD is just defect. It's just broken DVD because it will not play on any player, but because it plays on a Blu-ray player. So that is not the fault of the disc per se. It's not just the fault of the disc, but it is the fault of the player because it just failed to read through the second layer. The mechanism is not as good, especially in newer DVD models. I started to notice that newer DVD models, DVD player models, they're not as good as the older ones. I mentioned LG DVD players multiple times throughout these videos. I have two LG DVD players. The older ones that I bought in 2011, it plays just great. It nearly never suffer from skipping or freezing issues that throughout my experience using that DVD player until it gave up several years ago. But I also have a newer LG DVD player from 2014. From the get-go, that issues appear. That's when I play this DVD on that LG, the 2014 LG DVD player, that these suffer from skipping and freezing when I played on that player. So that's the fault of the DVD player. I started to notice that newer players, they're not as robust in reading the data as the older, much more proper disc player. So I think that is all that I wanted to share with you at this very moment. I'm not an expert on anything. This is just based on my personal experience. So if you're still with me up until this very moment, I sincerely say thank you. Thank you so much. Take care and goodbye.